and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about subscriber stories. So, as you guys may or may not know, I have been receiving a bunch of emails from my subscribers, and in this case, we got one from For Sure. Thank you so much for emailing me your story about what took place during this delivery and making this video possible. And I'm sorry to those who have already been emailing me. I've been seeing a lot of BC and Joe Rocker on here, and I'm not ignoring you guys. It's just I had to catch up with everything else before I started looking at my email account. But I wanted to get restarted on all of this. So with that said, I want to go over everything For Sure sent me in this email, how it actually is for Doordash UberEats Grubhub drivers, their corresponding customers and merchants, and everything in between. But before we do that, I do want to say this. I am not saying that I approve nor discredit anything that this person did. I am simply gonna give my take on it, and one of the beauties of being an independent contractor is that you have the right to work any way you choose. So with that said, let's get started. It was very slow, so I accepted an offer I believe to have no tip. I was right. It was $4.50 picking up one bottle of KY and not too far of a distance. You know, honestly, I understand why people take those orders when it's slow. But in my opinion, it's better to just commit the time you're not putting towards gig work towards something that is going to act as an exit strategy, because the gig economy is an income bridge to what would be a long-term goal and not the goal. So instead of you committing that time to a customer who doesn't believe in treating you with the respect you deserve and tipping you properly and selling your time for $4.50, it would have been better to invest that time to something long-term. But that being said, a no-tip customer story is always good content regardless, so I appreciate the email. The item was out of stock, so I hit item out of stock and approved substitutes popped up, so I grabbed the top choice. Is approved substitutes approved by the company or the customer? Because on Instacart, the customer has a right to choose approved substitutes, but they also have scan replacement choices that are just defaults. So there is a difference and can actually lead to some very upset customers, and especially if they're no-tip customers, you're almost definitely going to have an issue. I didn't get a bag because the box is about the size of a bottle of eye drops, so it would have been a waste, as a lot of people do not recycle. I see why you're doing that, but I still would have gotten a bag. It's like one of those things, like, I don't want other people to see what I'm ordering, so you would probably almost need to get a bag. Even if all you're gonna do is hang it on a doorknob, they're gonna take it out of the bag and they're gonna throw it out. It's upsetting, it's annoying, but it's important. And especially if it's like sensitive products. I remember doing an Instacart order at a Walgreens and they expected me to get weenie beanies. I had to check out with them, and for some reason they didn't want to give me a bag. I didn't have an issue with it, but I ended up taking it to the customer. The customer opened the door, I handed it to her. She gave me this shocked look of, oh my God, you're handing me a box of weenie beanies. Probably just best to take the bag, put it in your car, and hand them the bag. Some neighbors don't need to know what you're buying, you know? I also knew where the customer lived, and I knew it would not be seen by anyone other than the company because it was early and most likely not expecting company based off the item. It sounds like you also know who this customer is, so they're regularly not tipping their driver? That's pretty interesting. I dropped it off and moved on. After our conversation, I contacted DoorDash. They assured me it would not affect my ratings, but I did it mainly so it's documented in case this is normal behavior for him. All right, well, first off, let's notate something. It sounds like the person that you dropped it off to, you don't necessarily know them, but you know where they live. It sounds like an apartment building of some sort. Well, let's have a look at this conversation. Dropped off the wrong size. KY warming jelly personal lubricant. Oh my. So this product that you dropped off is actually along the same line, so I definitely would have gotten a bag for the purposes of privacy, but it doesn't look like that's the real issue here. They had an issue with the size you dropped off. This is what was ordered. You dropped off a product 1/5 of the size, and common courtesy would have all orders in a delivery bag. Yeah, I would have just had it in a bag, dude. Forget the concept that he didn't tip and the product was not even in the right size. I would have just had it in a bag. Even if you have just a few spare plastic bags in your car just in case, put it in a bag. I apologized for the delay in response as I was driving. The item you requested was out of stock and the item I grabbed was on the top of your approved substitutes. I didn't grab a bag due to how small the item was, as it felt like a waste. DoorDash should have notified you of this. It sounds like it's their approved substitutes, not necessarily the company's approved substitute. So you did what you could. Notified me of what? Your text is not complete. Does not notify me of anything. I'm having to question the quality and effectiveness. I did not authorize a substitute. Why would I accept a product 1/5 of the amount and still pay for the larger size? Makes no sense. Again, I did not authorize any subs. Okay, so it sounds like the approved substitutes were from the company based on what he's saying. But here's the other side to that. You didn't tip your driver, and the product you requested was out of stock. While the driver could have contacted the customer, you know, you also could have done is tip your driver. So you received the quality of service that you paid for. As far as I'm concerned, the transaction's complete and you got what you deserved. Call DoorDash then. I did everything I was supposed to do. I will be contacting them as well to ensure I won't get a bad rating over this. Some support agents will be good to you that way, but some just won't. So be careful. And also, the bag's a matter of keeping an order clean as well as private, regardless of what the order is. And I don't believe it's up to you to go and decide a customer's order is too small to qualify. How rude. Someone needs to pick up this wrong item up, and my money needs to be credited back to me at once, or find the correct item at another store. I cannot believe this isn't standard policy, but I'm not accepting the wrong item. Completely unacceptable. Okay, so there's a lot that needs to be said about that. First off, yes, I do agree that the bag needed to be there for the sake of privacy and cleanliness. That does go to him. But the idea that he expects somebody to go back to their home, he gets his money back, and the product still goes to him, why would any company, let alone him, receive that kind of service? That makes less than no sense. Like, I understand the frustration of not getting the item you paid for, but you also didn't tip your driver either. You could have just simply got the item yourself. Instead, you had it delivered and the item wasn't even available to begin with. So unless they're manufacturing the item in the store, there's no way that they're just suddenly gonna magically come up with that kind of product. And you know what standard policy is? Standard policy is that you should tip your driver and receive better service. And the way you're treating this person just shows exactly the kind of person that doesn't tip their driver anyway. Like, I always say this, people who don't tip their drivers are always the worst customers to work with. No, you didn't do everything you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is get the correct product, and if the correct project wasn't available, then you get nothing and deliver nothing. You don't deliver the wrong product, especially something that is so much smaller than what was ordered. Are you freaking kidding me? Unbelievable. Somebody is the picnic. This D thing up and take it back and stint the credit, buy money back. And yeah, I'll call DoorDash. Send me their number. Please, fun, freaking believable. Subway needs to come pick this C up right now. That's not what I ordered. Unbelievable that you would bring something. That's not what your cousin ordered. It's a load of garbage. Unacceptable. I feel like I had an aneurysm reading that. Holy crap. This person is probably using the dictate function on their phone. I could physically hear the screaming vibrations while trying to get the dictate function to just write what they're supposed to write in the section. And this is exactly how it's coming out. But yeah, they could just take a flying leap if they're gonna treat you like that. And sure, you are getting a really bad reading of this. You bought the wrong product, Airhead. What kind of knucklehead does that once a mixture that they don't have a bad rating because they didn't do the job proper? You brought the wrong item. Would you? What planet do you live on? Compact this ass back up and take it back so I give my money back. Do your D job. Oh my god, I'm having problems reading this. It's amazing how stupid somebody gets when they're mad. Have a great day. That's all you can say at that point. I wouldn't have even bothered responding back to him. And it's good to hear that DoorDash support actually documented this so that way that kind of customer doesn't treat you that way anymore. But nevertheless, it's cool to see that you protected yourself from customers that operate that way. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. There are two things that would actually say the customer is 100% right on. Number one, it should have been in a bag. It's a matter of privacy. It's a matter of keeping the product clean. They should have had a bag, especially for the sensitivity of the item in question. Number two, in the event that the item is not what they wanted, you could have contacted the customer and actually asked for a replacement. But that being said, should you contact the customer knowing that they didn't tip you? Should you have even accepted the offer knowing that they didn't tip you? No. It's called no tip, no trip. Not no tip, deal with customers like this and then send me an email about it. Although I really do appreciate it that you did that. Thank you very much. Not no tip, rile up the customer in a way that they keep getting mad. And I know that's not what you did, but I know that there are other drivers that would actually do that. Not no tip, if it's slow, I'll do it quickly and then just drop it off. No tip, no trip. It's that simple. Because here's the other side of that. What if you got a really bad support agent and they said that they were going to make sure it doesn't affect your ratings, but they choose to not actually do their job? Now you get a bad rating and you think you're safe, even though you did everything you were supposed to do. And if you think that DoorDash is going to do the right thing all the time, you're out of your mind. In fact, it doesn't even matter if it's DoorDash, UberEats, Grubhub, whoever. These people can have a genuine impact on your account. All in all, I think that this was a quality, no-tip Karen story. I'm glad that you're okay out of this. And KY guy got exactly what he deserved. If you guys also want to email me your stories, my email is drivenwyld@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.